Hi there, Ian Crawford here. A lot of you know that I am presently on the Indian Pacific train that travels from one side of Australia to another. Iconic rail journey that I've been meaning to do. Now, along the way, I had planned to do a video a day to reflect upon some of the readings and some of the study that I was going to do while on this trip. Well, I decided not to do it. I'm going to do one video and this is it. And it's very, very different to what I usually deliver. For those who know me, even for a little while, know that I love watching human behavior and trying to attempt to understand it and see what makes people tick. And this journey has been an absolute plethora of opportunity to do that. But I must admit, I've been surprised on how wonderful this journey has been, but also the amount of learning and reflection and ultimately the impact that that's had on me. Now, for those who haven't done or don't know about this trip, the average age, without exaggeration, would be a late 60s. I had breakfast with a couple that are celebrating 48 years of marriage today, and the very next meal I was having dinner with someone that was having their third day celebration of marriage. I watched as a large group of people made assumptions about a young man's way of communicating and whether he was doing that appropriate or not, and then finding out that this young man had been involved in a massive car accident which broke his back and delivered huge brain damage to him. And watching that instant shift from making judgment and criticism about him straight to a shift the other way once this additional information was found out. I sat and had a drink with a Chinese maths student who is travelling back from Perth to Adelaide due to the fact that he had a collapsed lung and couldn't fly, and this is the first time on this trip that he's enjoyed Western food. At the same table, at the same meal, there was an IT expert who was also travelling back from Perth to Adelaide due to a ruptured eardrum, which didn't allow him to leave Perth to fly to London for a holiday, and he had to return. Watching them on how they managed that and dealt with this and the way they reflected on it, it was really interesting just for me. I sat for a while with a young mother who has a terminal brain tumour, and this is on her bucket list to do with her cousin, and watching her struggle with the angst and anguish associated with a relationship breakdown at the same time, and then watching her flourish and step up and even in this time of pain and struggle that she must be going through, put her three absolutely young children before any other decision that she was making. I sat with a couple where the husband has pancreatic cancer, and it's terminal, and watching how they're dealing with that and the conversations they have, and trying to understand how this man has come through this and dealt with this very obvious and very in-your-face type of end-of-life conversation that he's having with himself. And ultimately, I watched a large group of people come together and celebrate life and the fulfilling of a common goal, which was just amazing to see. All shapes and sizes, ages and nationalities just coming together and enjoying each other's experiences based on all of us wanting to experience this wonderful trip across the Nullarbor Plain. So ultimately, I've been surprised in regards to how amazing this experience has been, and the opportunity has given me to learn more about people and ultimately to reflect on my own experiences and the way that I see the world, and got to see that through other people's eyes that I usually wouldn't sit down and spend time with. But I guess when it comes down to it, if you look close enough, those opportunities for learnings and reflections are around us at all times. Now the question is whether we choose to see them and choose to take the learnings. So I challenge you to do that. I challenge you to look around and look for those experiences that might question how you see the world and actually enhance the way that you see the world and experience it. So thanks for listening. I hope that was slightly interesting for you, but it's what I've just seen over the last 3 or 4 days. So thanks very much. Hope to see you soon.